Imagine a world where a single name strikes fear, curiosity, and fascination. Jeffrey Epstein. Once known for his wealth and elite connections, Epstein's name now evokes scandal and mystery. The recent release of over 1,200 pages of documents, the Epstein Files, has reignited public interest and exposed new layers of his secretive network. These files, unsealed in 2026, have made headlines by naming high-profile individuals like Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. As these documents become public, they offer a rare glimpse into Epstein's hidden world, and raise questions about how such a network stayed concealed. This essay explores the content of these newly unsealed files and their broader implications. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier whose name became synonymous with scandal, secrecy, and controversy. For decades he moved through the upper echelons of society, cultivating an image of wealth and influence that masked a far more sinister reality. His life was shrouded in mystery and scandal, with rumors swirling about his business dealings, personal relationships, and the true source of his immense fortune. Epstein was a man who thrived in the shadows, using his connections to shield himself from scrutiny. Born in Brooklyn in 1953, Epstein's early years gave little hint of the notoriety he would later achieve. He began his career as a teacher before transitioning to finance, where he quickly rose through the ranks. By the 1980s and 90s, he had amassed significant wealth, acquiring luxury properties, private jets, and a reputation for hosting lavish parties attended by celebrities, politicians, and royalty. Beneath the surface of his glamorous lifestyle, however, a darker reality was taking shape, one that would eventually shock the world. Behind closed doors, Epstein was orchestrating a network of exploitation, preying on vulnerable young girls, while maintaining a facade of respectability. In 2019, after years of rumors and legal battles, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking minors. The case exposed a sprawling web of abuse and manipulation implicating not only Epstein, but also a number of influential figures from the worlds of business, politics, and entertainment. The revelation sent shockwaves through society, forcing a reckoning with uncomfortable truths about power and privilege. Just weeks after his arrest, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. His death, officially ruled a suicide, only deepened the mystery and fueled widespread speculation about the circumstances. Many questioned how such a high-profile inmate could die under the watch of authorities and whether powerful interests had played a role in silencing him. Epstein's case highlighted glaring systemic failures within the justice system, from lenient plea deals to lapses in oversight. It raised urgent questions about how wealth and influence can be used to evade accountability and about the vulnerability of those without power. His associations with some of the world's most prominent individuals, business leaders, politicians, and even royalty, revealed the potential for corruption and complicity at the highest levels. The extent of his network, and the secrets it may have concealed, remain the subject of ongoing investigation and public fascination. Epstein's story is not just about one man's crimes, but a reflection of broader societal issues, about how institutions can fail to protect the vulnerable, and how those in power can manipulate systems for their own gain. His case became a lightning rod for conversations about sexual abuse, exploitation, and the urgent need for reform. Understanding Epstein's significance means recognizing the ripple effects of his actions, how they have impacted individuals, shaken public trust in institutions, and sparked calls for greater transparency and accountability. The consequences of his crimes continue to reverberate, prompting new investigations and inspiring survivors to speak out. Ultimately, the case of Jeffrey Epstein remains a catalyst for ongoing discussions about power, privilege, and justice. It challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths, demand change, and ensure that such abuses are never allowed to happen again. In January 2026, a federal judge ordered the release of more than 1,200 pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, a move that sent shockwaves through legal and media circles. For years, these files had been the subject of intense speculation, with journalists, attorneys, and the public demanding answers about the extent of Epstein's network and the details of his alleged crimes. The judge's decision to unseal the documents was seen as a significant victory for transparency, but it also raised new questions about privacy, justice, and accountability. The Epstein files include a vast array of materials, deposition transcripts, flight logs, and personal correspondence, each offering unprecedented insight into his world. These documents paint a detailed picture of Epstein's operations, revealing how he moved between his various properties, who he associated with, and the methods he used to maintain secrecy. The flight logs, in particular, have drawn attention for listing the names of high-profile individuals who traveled with Epstein, fueling speculation and further investigation. Among the most significant revelations are new victim statements, which detail harrowing encounters at Epstein's properties. These testimonies add disturbing context to his crimes, providing first-hand accounts of manipulation, coercion, and abuse. For many survivors, the public release of their stories represents both a painful reminder and a crucial step toward justice, as their voices are finally being heard on a national stage. Despite the volume of information, many names and details remain redacted, preserving an air of mystery around key figures and events. The blacked-out sections of the documents have only intensified public curiosity, as observers try to piece together the identities and connections that remain hidden. This selective transparency has sparked debate about who is being protected and why. The files also reveal the extent of Epstein's interactions with powerful individuals, including politicians, business leaders, and celebrities. These connections have fueled ongoing investigations as authorities seek to determine who may have been complicit, or at least aware of Epstein's activities. The sheer scope of the network outlined in the documents has raised serious questions about the reach of Epstein's influence and the failures of institutions meant to hold him accountable. Yet, for all the revelations, many questions remain unanswered. Some documents are still sealed or heavily redacted, leaving critical gaps in the story. Legal experts warn that the process of unsealing and reviewing these files could take months, if not years, and that some information may never be made public due to ongoing legal battles and privacy concerns. The release of these documents marks a major step toward uncovering the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and his network. It has empowered journalists, researchers, and the public to dig deeper, but it also highlights the immense challenges of achieving full transparency in high-profile cases involving powerful interests. As more information comes to light, the world continues to watch, waiting for answers and accountability. The Epstein files mention prominent figures like Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Trump appeared in Epstein's flight logs, flying on his private jet at least twice in the late 1990s, but the files do not directly implicate him in criminal activity. Bill Clinton's name also surfaces, renewing scrutiny of his past interactions with Epstein. While neither has been formally accused of wrongdoing, their associations with Epstein continue to spark controversy. The inclusion of these names underscores the reach of Epstein's network and the potential for misuse of power. It's crucial to distinguish between documented interactions and unsubstantiated allegations. The files show connections, but not necessarily guilt by association. In February 2026, Bill and Hillary Clinton agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee about their connections to Epstein. Their decision marked the first time a former president was summoned to testify before Congress. The Clintons initially offered written statements, but the committee insisted on sworn depositions. This dispute highlights the high stakes and political maneuvering involved. Accusations of politicization and bipartisan support for contempt charges have added to the drama. The situation underscores the contentious nature of the Epstein investigation and its broader implications. In July 2025, the Department of Justice released a memo confirming Epstein's 2019 death as a suicide and stating no client list was ever found. The announcement offered some closure, but skepticism remains about the investigation's thoroughness. The absence of a client list is contentious, as many believe it could reveal the true scope of Epstein's network. Donald Trump's stance shifted from openness to dismissing the case as a political hoax after the DOJ's memo. This change reflects the evolving political landscape around the case. The DOJ memo answers some questions, but leaves many mysteries unresolved. The Epstein files provide new insights, but also highlight the difficulty of separating fact from speculation. The documents confirm Epstein's connections with high-profile individuals, but do not directly implicate them in his crimes. The lack of a definitive client list fuels ongoing rumors and speculation. Redacted names and sealed documents add to the intrigue. The challenge is to focus on verifiable facts while acknowledging the limits of current evidence. The mystery persists, keeping the public and authorities searching for answers. The Epstein case remains a topic of intense public interest, even years after his death. The 2026 release of the Epstein files has reignited debates about power, privilege, and accountability. At its core, the case reflects systemic issues that go beyond one man's crimes. High-profile connections and political drama highlight the need for transparency and reform. Ongoing investigations and media scrutiny show the public's demand for answers. The Epstein case is a powerful reminder of the need for vigilance in the face of power. The saga of Jeffrey Epstein continues to captivate the public, not just because of the shocking nature of his crimes, but also due to the far-reaching implications that ripple through society. His story is a complex web of power, privilege, and secrecy, drawing in people from all walks of life who are eager to understand how such abuses could have gone unchecked for so long. The recent unsealing of the Epstein files has provided fresh insights and reignited debates about justice and accountability. Each new document, each newly revealed name, adds another layer to the mystery, prompting the public to question not only the legal system, but also the institutions and individuals who may have enabled or ignored Epstein's actions. The files have become a symbol of transparency, yet they also highlight how much remains hidden from view. As more details emerge, the intrigue around Epstein's connections only deepens. Investigative journalists and independent researchers pore over every scrap of information, hoping to uncover the full extent of his network. The story has become a puzzle with missing pieces, and the public's desire to see the whole picture keeps the conversation alive. The involvement of high-profile figures like Donald Trump and Bill Clinton adds even more complexity, raising uncomfortable questions about who knew what and when. Their appearances in the files and in Epstein's social circles have fueled speculation and debate, making it clear that this is not just a story about one man, but about the powerful circles he moved in. The ongoing political drama and unanswered questions keep the story alive in the media and in public discourse. Lawmakers debate reforms, journalists chase leads, and the public demands answers. The Epstein case has become a touchstone for broader conversations about corruption, privilege, and the limits of justice in our society. The absence of a definitive client list and the enduring mystery surrounding Epstein's death in prison only add to the fascination. Was it suicide or something more sinister? The lack of closure has led to countless theories and ongoing investigations, ensuring that the story remains in the headlines and in the public imagination. The Epstein story challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, privilege, and the ways in which justice can be subverted. It forces society to reckon with the reality that some individuals, by virtue of their wealth and connections, can evade accountability for years, if not decades. As new developments continue to unfold, the Epstein saga remains a testament to the enduring impact of one man's actions on society. It is a story that refuses to fade, reminding us of the importance of vigilance, transparency, and the ongoing fight for justice in the face of power.